Hey guys, it's Kevin, another movie for you guys. Now, this movie reviewing, this is a review that has been a long time, and I mean a long time coming, very overdue, and I don't know why it's taken me so long to review this movie. This is a movie that I tell people I haven't reviewed, and people are shocked that I haven't reviewed it. But I figured that I should finally review this movie because I've had this Blu-ray for 2 weeks. I'm tired of just staring at it and not actually, reviewing it, and I figured I might as well do that. And let's just get into it because, without further ado, that is the 2016 adaptation of The Jungle Book. Yes, I've had this Blu-ray for 2 weeks, like I said, and I wanted to review this movie, and I just figured I finally should. But I actually was really looking forward to this movie, mainly because of the fact that I think recently Disney has been doing really well with these live-action reimaginings. They've definitely been doing a very good job with them. They've been casting them really well. And Cinderella, as you guys know, I was a really big fan of that movie. I thought that one turned out really well. This one looked like it could be just as good, if not better. And of course, it got rave reviews and things like that. And like I said, I figured I should finally watch it, which the reason I didn't watch it is because of the fact that I didn't want to watch it in, like, shitty quality. I wanted to wait till I could watch it in, like, really good quality. You guys don't care about this, but either way, what did I think of The Jungle Book? The Jungle Book, in my opinion, is not only just as good as Cinderella, it's better than Cinderella. I think it is by far Disney's best live-action adaptation they've done so far. I really love this movie overall. It's both one of the most fun, entertaining, and thrilling films of the year that I highly recommend. And let's just get into the plot of The Jungle Book. If you guys don't know, which I believe this is like the third adaptation, which I watched the 1961 in school like a really long time ago. I'll talk about that a little bit more when we get into the story and things like that. But the story of The Jungle Book essentially is, we focus on this boy, Mowgli, who he is a man cub. All his life he has been raised by bears, Bagheera, and I can't remember Lupita Nyong'o's character's name, but he's raised by these few bears, and he's kind of trying to find his place, because obviously he's a human, he feels a little bit out of place, and basically, while he's trying to find his own place in the world, he ends up running into Shere Khan, who is one of the most feared, creatures in the entire jungle. Mowgli, however, doesn't really seem to fear him and actually challenges him, and basically Mowgli throughout the rest of the movie kind of goes on this quest of self-discovery, and that basically is the plot of The Jungle Book in a nutshell. There's definitely a lot more to the movie than that, but let's just jump into the movie because I really do want to talk about the things that I really did love about this movie, starting off with the cast. As you guys know, I was a huge fan of the 2015 adaptation of Cinderella, and there were a bevy of reasons why, but one of the big reasons was because of Lily James. Her being a newcomer, I think she completely shined as Cinderella, and I was really hoping that would be the case for Mowgli in this movie. And I have to say that while I don't think Neel Sethi is as good as Lily James, he did what he needed to do. He is a newcomer, and it's definitely noticeable in this movie. There are definitely a few times when his acting is shaky, but for the most part, he really pulls off this role really well, especially in the fact that he is the only live-action human in this movie. It's very hard to be that young and to pull it off, but he pulls it off really, really well. And I just loved getting more into Mowgli's character, him kind of confused, trying to find his place in the world, trying to find, where he really fits. And I also really like, the childlike wonder of him. I thought that his nature was really fun, and just overall gives off this really fun vibe, but like I said, throughout the movie, he becomes more and more fearless, and I really like what they do with his character. He does go through some emotional trauma in the movie, and there were a couple points, like I said, where he was a bit shaky, but overall, I thought he did a really good job. I was definitely very impressed by him. He definitely is spot on in his portrayal. Like, he looks like Mowgli in the original 1960 movie. I don't know how they did it, but he looks pretty much exactly the same, and they did an incredible job with that. I love the way that they made this character live action. I thought he was incredible in the film, and overall gave a very good performance. Not a perfect performance, but basically did what he needed to do, and especially since the fact that he is the only live action character in this movie, definitely pulled it off a lot better than I think other actors could have. Now, everyone else in this movie is motion capture CGI, which I'll talk more about the CGI when we get into cinematography, but let me just say that I think everyone here was perfectly casted. Everyone really gave a great performance, but by far, I think the person that steals this entire movie is actually not Neel Sethi. It is, in fact, Bill Murray as Baloo. I have not seen this perfect of a casting for an adaptation in a very long time. I think that he was just spot on as Baloo. The second that they said that Bill Murray was going to play Baloo, I'm like, alright, that's perfect. I couldn't see anyone else playing him, and he just had this character down to a T. You can tell that he's having so much fun with this character, but he also did a great job in really getting lost into this role. It's something Bill Murray does very well, is that every role he kind of makes his own, and I really thought he did a great job here. I really loved his portrayal of Baloo. Just a lot of fun to watch. Baloo has this, carefree, laid-back nature to him. And the way that he taught Mowgli things I thought was really fun. But also Mowgli teaches him a few things. And I like the bonding between these two they had overall. And you can clearly tell that their friendship is one of the most important parts of this movie. I really love what he had to do here. I thought he was a lot of fun to watch. And they did a really good job with keeping the spirit of the 1960 animated, version in Baloo. I thought it was a lot of fun to watch. It definitely worked very well, live action, and by far, it's just one of the most fun and entertaining parts of the film is Bill Murray as Baloo. And then Ben Kingsley as Bagheera I thought was also really good. I really loved the relation between him and Mowgli, how protective he was of Mowgli, and the way that he really saw Mowgli as one of his own. I didn't know that he also narrated the movie, so he did a pretty good job with that, but I really like what Ben Kingsley had to do in this movie. I thought he was really good, and he's not in this movie, actually. He's not in this movie as much as I thought he was going to be, but I thought overall he did a really good job, and I definitely loved what he had to do here. But definitely one of the best parts of this movie, and someone that definitely should be noted, is Idris Elba as Shere Khan. Again, perfect portrayal. I could not see anyone else playing Shere Khan. Idris Elba just has this menacing presence to him. Even when he's playing a good guy, he has this menace to him, and I don't really know how to describe it, but he just does such a damn good job in this role. He has played 3 Disney characters, and they've all have been great. I think this, by far, though, is his best of the 3. He is just so menacing and so terrifying, honestly, as Shere Khan. You fear him the second you see him, and he did an incredible job in this movie, and you really don't know how Mowgli's going to be able to take him on, because he just seems so unbeatable, and the way he challenges Mowgli mentally and physically, I thought was incredible. I thought Idris Elba did an incredible job in this movie. He was so great as this character, and even just playing a tiger, I mean, you really do fear him, and Idris Elba really is just incredible in these roles, and I really, like I said, couldn't see anyone else playing his character. Really great job overall. Definitely one of the best parts of this movie by far. And I also may as well know that he's by far one of the best villains I've seen this year. He's so menacing, so terrifying, and even as a tiger, is able to give off such a range and leave such an impression on you, even though, like I said, he's doing just an anime voice. And it really just shows how great of an actor Idris Elba really is and how wide his range is. Now, everyone else in the movie I thought was very well casted, but I will say there were a few underused actors in this movie. I wasn't expecting Scarlett Johansson to have the lack of scenes she did in this movie. She is in this movie for, I believe, only about 4 minutes, and for what she's in, she's very good. She definitely did a very good job as Ka, but I was expecting her to have a lot more, and not to say that she was bad. She was really great in this role. I was just expecting a little bit more from her, as well as Christopher Walken. He's only in this movie for about 4 minutes. Unlike Scarlett Johansson, though, he really did leave an impression on me. Scarlett Johansson did as well, but Christopher Walken is one of the best parts of this movie. Even though he's in the movie for about, I'd say, 10 minutes, he was a lot of fun to watch. I loved his scene as King Louie. The way he negotiates with Mowgli, what he wants out of Mowgli, and the way he's kind of a secondary antagonistic force besides, besides Shere Khan, I thought was really well done. I really love what he had to do, and I think overall, everyone really just gave a really good performance, and really everyone was just perfectly casted. Even someone like Giancarlo Esposito, who his character doesn't really leave an impression on me, still really gave a great performance. I thought everyone really did a great job, and everyone really, like I said, was perfectly casted. However, as good as the acting is, they're not really the thing that I think anchored this movie. What really made this movie so great is Jon Favreau, who I think brilliantly directed this movie. As you guys know, this was completely a passion project. Jon Favreau fell in love with The Jungle Book. He's always wanted to do this adaptation, and it really does show. He has a very faithful adaptation to this movie. Now, like I said, I saw the 1960s adaptation years and years ago in school, I believe like 2nd or 3rd grade. I don't really remember it at all, I have to say, but I do know the basic concept and the basic stuff that happens in The Jungle Book, so to see it here, live action adaptation, honestly, if this is your first adaptation, I think you're good. This is a very this is a very faithful adaptation. I don't really think there's anything here that I'd say, no, that doesn't really belong in this movie. I think the way that he paid tribute to the story, I thought did a very good job, but he also did a great job of making it his own. The tone here, I said, was very good. There are sometimes the movie's a lot of fun, but there are also times where it needs to be very thrilling. He did a very good job with keeping it just very entertaining, and I really did love what he did overall. The directing here I thought was really great, and definitely one of the best parts of the movie. The screenplay here, I thought was very well executed. I had a lot of fun with the screenplay overall. There's just so many fun parts of watching Mowgli go on this quest with Baloo, seeing their interactions overall. I thought it was definitely a lot of fun to see. I do have one small complaint with the film, and that is that it did take a little while to get into, I will say that. And what I mean by that is the first, I'd say, 20 minutes of this movie, I really wasn't that into. I'm like, I don't know about this. Maybe this movie just isn't going to be for me. That's what I thought. I thought this was going to be one of those movies that everyone really loved, and I just didn't really like as much, and I was really worried that I wasn't going to like it as much. But then, once Mowgli gets separated on his own from Bagheera, and then, he kind of goes on this quest of self-discovery, then the movie really got good. After that, I was into the movie for the rest of the movie, but it really did take a little bit while to get through. But even those first 20 minutes, I wasn't bored per se, I just wasn't as into it as I wanted to be. But then, like I said, as it went on, I thought it got really good. The story overall, I thought was very interesting, and really just has this great message of bravery and knowing your place and not letting, this antagonistic force stop you from achieving your goal. And I really did love the way that was done. And I think Mowgli as a character, it was very well utilized. Definitely, I think they did that very well. And they took someone like Mowgli, who could have just been this character, he's someone that's kind of throughout the movie just goes to different places, and they made him his own character. They didn't just make him the everyman in this movie. They did a very good job with that, and that's something I thought was very well done. But something that definitely needs to be noted is the cinematography in this movie. This is, hands down, the best motion capture CGI I might have ever seen. I mean, it is astounding how they were able to pull this off. And you guys may be surprised when I tell you this, not a single one of the jungle settings in this movie are actual jungles. And I know, it's incredible. It's all sets. It's literally all sets. And the way they were able to pull this off so well and make it seem that much like a set is damn near perfection. I have no idea how they were able to get it done so perfectly and make everything look so immaculate and so perfect, but they did. And it's incredible, honestly. I honestly, I'm out of words because it's just that amazing that they were able to do that. And the attention to detail they put into this movie is definitely something to take note of. You really do feel like you're in the jungle in this movie. And again, when thinking that this actually is just motion capture, it's just incredible because you feel like you're in that jungle setting throughout this entire movie. And I really don't know how they were able to do it, but I have to give it to the cinematographer. I can't think of who did the cinematography. Who did the cinematography in this movie? Bill Pope. He did an incredible job with the cinematography in this movie. Overall, I thought it was just incredible to watch. Really great stuff overall, and like I said, just really, brilliant cinematography. Damn near perfection, and some of the best I've ever seen. Even the motion capture animals, they don't look like motion capture. They look like the tiger's actually speaking. It looks like the bear is actually speaking. Now, you know they can't actually train these animals, but the fact that it actually looks like that, I think it's just incredible, and it really shows how far we've come with 3D technology and what we're able to do now with CGI. I mean, years ago, so many people are saying, oh, we need to utilize practical effects, but if you can make CGI this good, I honestly don't think we need practical effects in this instance. In this instance, it worked very well, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they pull it off when it comes to Beauty and the Beast, because I'm pretty sure they're going to do Beauty and the Beast the same way, and if it works so well in this, I can't imagine what it's going to look like in that, because if it looks so great here, I honestly don't know what it's going to look like there, but either way, enough about that. The score in this movie, I thought they did a really great job with, because yes, this is obviously a live-action adaptation, but they did a pretty good job of implementing some of the songs from the original film. Now, this isn't, of course, a musical, but there are some songs in the film, and I really do like the way they did that, the way they had the musical numbers in here, and they didn't feel out of place either. Like, it felt like when they had them in there that they definitely they definitely made sense why they were there. They felt maybe a little bit out of place, and they might throw off some people, but for me, I thought it worked very well. I really liked the way it was done, just added to the fun in the movie. I really enjoyed the musical numbers overall, and the score in general sounds incredible. When you hear the bare necessities by itself, and just the score they did in this movie, I thought sounded so epic, honestly. It's one of those scores I could find myself, just listening to by myself, not just in the movie, listening to it for my own free will. I could totally see myself doing that. I really love the score overall. Really great stuff there. And then the editing this movie, like I said, besides the first 20 minutes, this movie flew by for me. I was into it almost the whole time besides those first 20 minutes. I really did love the way it was done. And the climax of this movie, holy shit. I mean, the climax of this movie is one of the craziest, most thrilling things I've seen in a Disney movie in a very long time. I can't believe they actually got away with what they did, and I mean, let's put it this way. If you thought that the animated version was thrilling, you are not prepared what the live-action version has, because I knew it was going to be big. I did not expect it to be as thrilling as it is. It truly is edge-of-your-seat thrilling, and it definitely, I was glued to my seat the entire time. I love the way that final climax was done. One of the best parts of the movie. One of the best endings, man, also. I love the way this movie ended, and especially a final shot I thought was jaw-droppingly good. I love the way the final shot was constructed. I thought they did a great job with that, and really worked very well towards the end of the film. Overall, guys, The Jungle Book is one of the most impressive live-action adaptations I've seen from Disney. I'm very interested in seeing how Beauty and the Beast is going to be better, because I honestly don't know if they can be. After something this good, I don't know how you make it better, but I feel like if they can make, something better than Cinderella, they can make something better than The Jungle Book, and we'll have to see what they can do with that. It's taking me so long to watch the movie. I don't know why it took me so long, but I am so happy I finally watched it, and I am definitely going to give The Jungle Book a 4.5 out of 5, or an A. Besides that very slow and kind of sluggish 20 minutes, I overall really enjoyed this movie. One of the most entertaining, fun, thrilling adventure films of the year. Highly recommend if you haven't seen it. I think kids will really enjoy it as well. And I also feel that if kids haven't seen the 1960s adaptation from, the animated version, this would be a good first adaptation of The Jungle Book. For me, who doesn't really remember the animated version, this is very well going to be my Jungle Book. I can't see them doing a better Jungle Book, and I know that Andy Serkis is making one. I'm kind of wondering how he can make it better, because I don't really know what he's doing differently to that, or how he's going to alter the source material, but after this, I really am conflicted whether or not Andy Serkis can make a better adaptation than this, because of how good this one really was. But overall, guys, I'm going to review The Jungle Book. Let me know what you guys thought of this movie overall. Again, I don't know why it took me so long to finally review this movie, but let me know what you guys thought of it. Love to hear your thoughts on it, and we'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for the series premiere of Speechless, the new show on ABC. It's already up. I will review the pilot. I'll check it out right after this review, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.